Life is hectic.
Some days are just a blur.
We're Jay and Laura LaFoon, and we help busy couples stay married for life.
Welcome to the Married for Life podcast. Hey gang, we're so excited today to have our really good friend Leanne Morgan, and you will be able to tell where she is located in the United States the minute she opens her mouth. I just love her. She's a comedian. She's my Southern soul sister. So Leanne, we welcome you to the podcast today.
Oh, my darling. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. And thank you, Jay. And I am devastated that we have not been on vacation together this week. So, but anyway, I'm glad I'm getting to be with y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Well, we are so blessed to have you with us, and for our friends that are listening, Leanne, this is, you have some comedian friends who go into a character, and others is just who they are, and this is Leanne. This is Leanne, and we love that about her. So, Leanne, give us a little bit of your background, a little bit about your family, and tell us a little bit about you personally.
Well, you angel. Okay, Jay, I am about to turn 54 years old, and I was raised in Middle Tennessee in a farming community of 500 people. And I went to the University of Tennessee to go to college and met my husband, Chuck, and I had 3 children with him, and they are now grown. They are 26, 23, and 21, and we have lived most of the time in East Tennessee, in Knoxville, and I can see the Smoky Mountains from my driveway. And but we've lived in Texas and all over because my husband works for a big company, and we traveled around with him. But in the middle of all that, I had a dream from the time I was 5 years old that I wanted to be a comedian, and I started doing comedy when my baby child was a year old in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And I don't know, you probably don't have enough time to go through that, how that happened. But anyway, I've been doing comedy for, well, she's 21, so 20 years. And I started out selling jewelry in women's living rooms for Premier, that company out of Dallas.
Oh, yeah, I have a bunch of that.
Yeah, I started slipping jewelry and eating brownies and dip with people. And I was supposed to be talking about jewelry, and instead I talked about my hemorrhoids and breastfeeding all night and being angry and bitter at my husband because he didn't hear a baby crying. And so so people thought I was funny and started booking me so far in advance that the company noticed and started asking me to speak at things. But in my heart, I knew I was going to be doing it. I just didn't know how. But then I look back on it, and boy, God had a plan for me because I was in the middle of nowhere. My husband's in the mobile home industry, and there was no comedy clubs around. But I got in women's living rooms, which are my demographic, are women, people that have families, and I had my own kind of little comedy clubs in everybody's living room. But anyway, that's how I got started. And then I've had a wonderful time doing comedy all over the United States and Canada, even though the Canadian people they laugh inside.
We know.
But I love them. But I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a Regina, Canada.
Yeah,
and a moose jaw. Yeah, but
and medicine hat.
I've done.
Don't forget medicine hat.
Medicine hat.
Yeah.
I've not been able to work that.
Oh, we got to work medicine.
Where's that?
No, that's the name of the town, Medicine Hat.
Yeah.
I think it's in Saskatchewan.
It's in Saskatchewan with Regina and with Moose Jaw and all those other
there's quite
wonderful places that we comedians get to go. Oh, so tell us a little bit about Chuck, because Chuck is very interesting.
Okay. Yes, Chuck is a big anal retentive, type A introvert who stalked me while we were at the University of Tennessee and loved me so much and bought me presents and was determined to get me vacuumed out my car, cleaned my apartment, and but it didn't say 2 words, but so I fell in love with him and had a bunch of kids by him, and he would have had, I'm shocked we didn't have 15. but because he loves a baby and he loves a dog. I can't believe we didn't open up a doggy daycare and I didn't birth 15 children. But anyway, he is very, very mathematical and very overachiever and very organized. And then he married me, who is unorganized, cannot do math. I talk too much, and so it's been volatile. I'll say, Jay and Laura, it's been volatile, but we have made it with a lot of prayer and a lot of crying and a lot of gifts. We have made it. So, but he is, I have to say, he is a baby cuddler at Children's Hospital, and he cuddles the drug-dependent babies.
Oh, nice.
Every week of the world, I know, and I say in my act, that is so sweet, but he didn't help me with mine, because he has been gone working and doing, because he's an overachiever. But anyway, we have been married, oh my gosh, 27 years, and we have got these 3 precious children, but let me tell you, Chuck is not a communicator. My baby is Tess, who is 21, who is about to move to New York.
Oh, wow.
Well, they're all yummy, but I got to tell you, Jay, that oldest one, my boy is, yeah, he is so sweet and kind and is not smart aleck. And my girls are yummy and fun, and now my best friends because they're grown, and I never had that kind of relationship with them like Miley Cyrus had with Billy Ray. They were friends and they smoked a lot of dope together. I didn't believe in that. I wasn't their friend. I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? I've known women that have made horrible decisions trying to be their kids' friends, and I was never that. Now I am now because they're grown and they have got some sense, and things we've gotten through. So now they're my friends, but they are very hateful when they're hormonal, and I'm scared of them. But I love them. I love them. But my boy is the easiest.
Yeah, well, there's no question. Our boy's the easiest, and we've got one of those yummy daughters as well, who, when she gets hormonal, becomes quite the
Basically,
treat.
Our daughter is Jay with female hormones.
Yes.
So that may not matter anything to the listeners who don't know us, but Leanne understands because Jay is.
Yeah.
He is yummy and fun.
Yes, thank you.
Well, you are. But okay, now, but let me tell you, my boy got married and is a believer, and so he clings to his wife. So that's really sucked because that he wants to be with her and tells her everything, and I miss that. I miss having somebody to talk to that's sweet. But anyway, now I just sit and talk to 2 beagles.
Well, at least they can't talk back.
They can't. They're not smart, Alex. No, they're not. I've got somebody's little fanny backed up to me right now as we're talking. They love their mommy.
So, Leanne, we first saw you on Dry Bar Comedy, and as soon as we saw you, we said we've got to get her up to the Memories on Mackinac women's event. And honestly, you killed it with the ladies. I mean, we had ladies, little girls that were 4 and 5 years old, up to grandmas who were 65, 70, say that you're so relatable. You're just so transparent. And is that really was that intentionally your comedic style, is just to live your life out on stage?
Yes, Jay. I have always. I'm a storyteller, and I've just told it like it is. And that's just how I write. And being a mom, like I've been conscious of what I would say in front of my own children. So I've always been considered a clean comedian because I'm a mother. I believe in decency, and I've been such a. That was the most important thing in the world for me, to have a family. I wanted babies from the time I was 5. And so when I talk about it, it's something that happens every day in life, and about these children I've got and that I've been so blessed with, and a husband. And so I that's the kind of stuff. I don't even think like Jerry Seinfeld, which I'm a big fan of Jerry Seinfeld, but he writes like there's a cotton ball, and he'll write a whole 10-minute bit about a dirty cotton ball. I don't even think that way. You know, I'm
Right.
more of what happened with my kids and what happened with. I'm very much into relationships. You know, I would have been a therapist, Jay, if I hadn't have done this. I really wanted to. I got an undergraduate degree in crisis intervention counseling, and I would have been a child and family therapist if I had not been a comedian. Which, who knows? If I can focus and get through menopause, I might go back to school. You never know. Like right now, I feel like I can't learn. You know. But anyway, but I've always been a storyteller, and I talk about what's happened to me and how I feel fat, and my Weight Watchers meetings, and you know, trying on blue jeans, and that's just what's come out. I didn't plan it that way, but then, and also being a parent, I just never wanted to go the blue route. You know, I just didn't.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do anything that would embarrass my children.
Well, I think that's why our mothers and daughters enjoyed you so much at Memories on Mackinac, was because you told stories about your kids, so that captivated the children, and the mothers were right there with you, understanding exactly what you were talking about, and so it was very fun for me to sit back and watch our audience just really connect with you, and we're really excited to have you join us in 2020 with Dr. Gary Chapman at our Celebrate Your Marriage. So I think it's just going to be funny because the husbands and wives sitting there are going to relate to everything you say about Chuck and your relationship and your children as well. So we're really looking forward to having you back on the island in 2020 with and it'll be so fun because Dr. Gary Chapman has a little bit of that Southern charm, and so it'll be we're going to bring the South to Michigan. That's my mission in life, is to bring the South to Michigan.
Oh, well, honey, I would live in Michigan, and y'all know that I was on fire for Mackinac Island, and my husband said we could retire up here.
There you go.
We could come up here and work. And I go, what are we going to do? And he goes, I could work on the golf course. I could do. He started naming the things he could do, and I said, well, I guess if I learn how to drive a team of mules, I could do tours, but I don't know if they want somebody with my accent touring people around Michigan. But honey, I loved it. I could work in a fun shop. Yes, I could.
You could
if I could learn the cash register. Oh, but let me tell you that Gary Chapman thing, I've been a huge fan of his for 20-something years, because my husband and I, in our church, when our kids were little, went on a retreat. And we didn't get to see him in person, but we watched the seminar and did the book and took the test, and you know, and I have a big bet I do on love languages. I am a huge fan of his. I'm on fire.
Mm-hmm. We love him
too.
So
what is your love language, Leanne?
My love language is words of affirmation, Jay,
Okay,
and I don't get them.
Well, it's funny because, you know, I'm the same, and Laura's spiritual gift is sarcasm. So that tells you.
He doesn't get much words of affirmation either.
So that tells you. That's why maybe that's why we're such good friends.
What's Chuck's love language?
Chuck's is acts of service.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I have to, you know, paint 2 rooms for him to fill up, or clean out
the garbage.
Yeah, and he's anal retentive and organized on top of that. So it's really, I mean, it's exhausting. It's exhausting, and all he has to say to me is, "Leanne, you look pretty," you know, and I'm on fire.
Right.
And how difficult is that? I mean,
yeah, well, Laura's love language is quality time, so I've got to actually do stuff with her. I mean, that's, you know.
Is it, Laura?
Yes, it is. Mine is quality time, and then my second one is gifts.
Gifts, and I'm cheap, so you know we don't speak each other's love languages very well. It's a wonder we've been married for 35 years. That's for sure.
So but doesn't it work? I mean, isn't it real? And doesn't it work? It really does make sense. But anyway, right. Go ahead, my little Jay. Okay.
No, it does. It does. I mean, and that's why we love having Gary up there. He's become a really good friend over the years, and you know, he's so humble. He's so such a godly man. We can't say enough about how much we're excited to pair him with you. And I mean, what a combo. just really looking forward to that. So Leanne, tell our listeners a little bit about some of maybe the things you got brewing right now.
Okay, I travel. I've got a calendar on my website, so I do shows all over the United States, and I'll be in Phoenix, West Palm Beach, Texas, several towns in Texas, clubs in the month of December. But anyway, people can look at that. And then I also have got a development deal for a half-hour comedy with Sony Television. And so I'm developing that with writers, a team of writers, and it's a long, process to get something on television. And I've been through this process already 2 times before I had a deal with ABC and Warner Brothers, and Paula Deen was going to play my mother. And the writer's strike hit. Do you remember that?
I do.
The writer's strike hit, and that's why we have the Kardashians. And writers kind of shot themselves in the foot on that one. And then I had a deal with TV Land and Nick, 2 different, TV Land and Nick at Night. And just for different reasons, it didn't make it. And so this is my 3rd with Sony. And I tell you, they found me this time through a firm. And, the firm is the faith-based arm of Sony. And they saw my special on Drive-Bar. And they do all those wonderful movies with the Kendrick brothers and Soul Surfer and all those, wonderful movies, faith-based movies. So they're the ones that brought me in with Sony Comedy Division in Los Angeles. So anyway, all that to be said, hopefully it'll get bought by a network or a streaming service like Netflix or Hulu, but that all happens in a couple of weeks, and we'll see. We'll see.
So
do I have enough energy to do a sitcom? Am I going to have to get, somebody to put an IV in my arm and put, liquid in it with these vitamins in it for me to do it? Knows. But anyway, I've got a good friend who's very close to Reba McEntire, and when she was doing hers, she said she had to go to some little man in Malibu, and they had to put something on her head. It was an acupuncturist, and they had to do all this stuff to give her the energy to do it, But so I'm going to try. I'm trying not to eat white flour and sugar.
So now, would you move to Los Angeles?
Well, in my deals before, they would always say to me, do not move for a year, like just, get an apartment and stay for a year, because you never know if it's going to get picked up again or if it would get canceled. So, but that's when I had kids still in high school and middle school. And so now it's just me and Chuck freewheeling, even though Chuck says, oh, never move out there. I've got, and he does need to keep a job, because he's got the health insurance. And I'm the hippy dippy, that wants to cook off a hot plate in an RV. Somebody's got to be responsible. So it's going to have to be him.
Yeah,
so we'll see. I don't, it's just the further it goes, and if it did get on air, with God's will, then we'd have to decide what to do. I guess go back and forth, and then if it got picked up, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'd eat less white flour and sugar if I lived out there. I don't know. I'm taking it one day at a time, my darling, one day at a time.
So when is that? When will you know?
When we go out and pitch, then we'll see if somebody buys it. Like my first one, ABC bought it before we got out of the parking lot.
Wow.
And then they just got to decide if they're going to give you, around $2 million to shoot a pilot.
Wow.
And then if they give you the money and you shoot a pilot, then they've got to decide if they're going to pick it up.
Wow.
And put it on air, and how many episodes they would. So when I first got started in this business, and I have been very lucky that I have been in the game. I have had television deals, even though I've never lived in Los Angeles. I'm a mama in Knoxville, Tennessee. So, think about God's hand on me, y'all, that I have had unbelievable opportunities. And of course, my husband says I've squandered a lot of them because I was, taking kids to McDonald's and doing Zumba. But anyway, but I've had all these wonderful, what was I going to say? Did I just lost my train of thought?
Well, that's the menopause talk
It
right
is.
there.
It is. It's brain fog and poor gut health, Jay. But anyway, somebody told me a long time ago, and it's true now. I get it. This is my third rodeo in Los Angeles with dealing with Hollywood, but it is more likely for me to win the lottery than get a television show on my hands.
Sure.
Because it is so hard to get through all of these steps. And I'm sure y'all know who Henry Cho is.
Yep.
Henry Cho, wonderful comedian, believer, precious. I've worked with Henry over the years so many times. I love him. He's had 5 development deals for a sitcom, and they have not made it. So you just don't know. But I look back now at the other 2, and I know that was in God's plan that they didn't get on there. Because can you imagine if I'd have raised my children in Los Angeles as opposed to Knoxville, Tennessee? I mean, I am so thankful that it didn't make it then, because my children, it would have been a whole different, life for them. And that's not what I wanted. I look back on it and I get it.
They'd be hanging out with Miley Cyrus.
Oh my goodness, on that big old wrecking ball.
That's right.
And no telling what they'd be doing. So I'm so thankful that I look back on it and I know that was God's protection over me. It was not the right timing. So we'll see, y'all. We'll see. I mean, I'm excited to be in the game. It's thrilling to have people after you, that want to do a television show with you based on your comedy. So that's a compliment in itself, and I'm thankful for that.
You bet.
Well, Leanne, we are so thankful that you joined us today on our podcast, and we will make sure that we put a link in our show notes to your website, which is leannemorgan.com, correct? Is that what it is?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct, my little Laura.
Yes. LeanneMorgan.com. You guys want to check her out on Dry Bar Comedy too. That's where we first saw her, and I just fell in love because of the Southern accent and just the true stories, the real stories. So, Leanne, thank you for joining us. Good luck with your Sony TV show. We hope that happens. I hope to be watching it here, soon. I would like to see it because it sounds like it's going to be hilarious.
Oh, you angel. Thank you. Thank y'all. I enjoy y'all. Can y'all tell we could talk for days? I've had a ball.
Well, give our best to Chuck, and
we'll see you in 2020 on Mackinac Island.
Yay! I'm so tickled. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.